Chaotic times will always show you who you are. Yesterday, I talked about Job, and in the midst of losing everything, in the midst of everything happening, and at a time when he really could have given up, and nobody would blame him. In fact, his friends was telling him, "Hey, Job, you need to just curse God and die, because you have nothing to live for." I don't know about you, but I don't want friends like that. However, if we're being honest, there are times when we literally have people who have nothing to offer, nothing worth their weight in gold or worth their weight in dirt to give. They say nothing, they offer nothing, and they're just there. They're often just like talking to hear themselves talk, and it really doesn't help. And that's one of the things, like when you know who you have around you. Because the way that Job excelled and the way that God blessed him, he could not have had those same people hanging around. Sometimes there are people that are around you that you won't cut loose, that the circumstances, it will keep pushing, things will keep happening until you have no choice but to cut them loose. Think about who you may be holding on to, that every time you deal with them, you find yourself feeling worse rather than better. Maybe it's just something as simple as by the time you get off, you're just confused and you're in a daze. Anything that makes you feel like that, that's not somebody you need or want around you, because there anybody in your life should come to your rescue or should be there for you at some point in time. When they can't do that, you know that you're planting into bad ground. You're planting into something and somebody where it will never grow. Not that you're looking for an eye for an eye and that they can give you exactly what you give them, but it's about the respect, it's about the caring, it's about the trust, it's about knowing they'll be there. And if you can't count on them being there, then what you need to count on is you not being available to them. Don't let anybody make you an option when you're making them a choice. If you're choosing them, make sure they're choosing you. That's the best that you can hope for, even in any situation. That person may not show up perfect, but they at least have to show up. And when they don't, let me tell you this too: you are not obligated to warn, to tell them, to enter into a long drawn out. I had a friend. It took me a long time. I mean, this was a 10 to 12-year friendship that was very one sided. And the way I finally got out was I stopped talking. It started out with something as simple as a call. Normally I pick up no matter what, because that's how I do when you're that person. And I stopped doing that. And then I would wait and call back. And because this friend was used to having everything her way, as soon as I didn't, she would be distant. I was like, oh, okay. And I hurried and got off the phone. I would make sure I cleared my mind after I would get off the phone. I didn't feel guilty, and I started spacing and spacing, because every time I tried to talk, that drew me in. That energy, I was giving off energy, I was giving off caring, and I wasn't able to break it. But the moment I stopped talking and I just backed up slowly, and I had to figure out how I was living with it, because backing up meant that I didn't talk to her either. So it wasn't like she wasn't getting to talk to me. I was missing my friend too. But what I learned is that I really didn't lose anything. And that may be what you're going through now. I'm telling you, we are in a season where you can't afford to just carry stragglers. Everything that can be shaken and falling off is being shaken. And if it falls off, let it fall. It's been your girl, Candy with Kim.